Hi all, welcome to the next class. So this is the last topic of our first module, commutation techniques of SCR. So in the last class we have discussed class A, class B and class C as well as the natural commutation. So in this class we will be discussing class D and class E commutation. So what is commutation? Commutation is nothing but it is the process of turning off a conducting SCR. Commutation of SCR is defined as the process of turning off an SCR. It is a process in which SCR is brought to off state from on state. So there are two conditions to bring a conducting SCR to off state. One is that the anode current should be below holding current. Always holding current is associated with turn off and latching current is associated with turn on. Another condition is that reverse voltage should be applied across the SCR so that you can bring it to forward blocking mode from forward conduction mode. So depending on the way in which this commutation is achieved, you can classify it into natural and forced. Okay, so this is the VI characteristics we have already discussed. We have three different modes: forward blocking region, then we have the forward conduction region as well as the reverse blocking region. So commutation technique is nothing but bringing from this conduction mode to blocking mode. So that is what we are doing in the commutation. Now to turn off SCR, some methods must be applied so that the above mentioned conditions can be met. So depending on the way in which this commutation is achieved, you can classify it into natural as well as forced commutation. Natural commutation, we are not using any external commutation circuitry. How the natural commutation is achieved is by means of the natural zero available in the AC signal. Okay, so it is also called class F commutation. Now we are discussing the forced commutation in which we have a dedicated commutation circuitry with the inductor and capacitor. So these are the different classification: class A, class B, class C, class D and class E. So first three classes we have discussed in the last class. Today we will be discussing about class D. So class D commutation is impulse commutation or auxiliary commutation. This commutation is called impulse commutation. Here we have, just see the circuit. This is a circuit of class D commutation. Here we have a main thyristor and there is an auxiliary thyristor. Since an auxiliary thyristor is used to turn off the main thyristor, this type of commutation is also called auxiliary commutation. Okay, and it is also voltage commutation. Now voltage commutation, why we are calling it, I will give you the explanation. So this is a circuit. Here we have the, we know forced commutation we will be having only DC source. So this is a DC source. Here there is a capacitor. These are the two thyristors, SCRs. This is a main thyristor T1 and this is auxiliary thyristor. Here there is an inductor and a diode. And this is a load resistor. So now initially we assume that both the thyristors are in off condition, and here we assume that this capacitor is charged to this maximum voltage with this upper plate positive and lower plate negative. Okay. So this is the assumption. This capacitor is fully charged with plus and minus. Now we turn on this thyristor so that load current starts flowing through this thyristor load and back to battery. At the same time, you can see here there is a fully charged capacitor, and here there is, once this T1 is turned on or fired, it acts as a short circuit. So C, T1, L and D, this will form a resonating circuit. Okay, so the capacitor got a path to discharge. So the capacitor starts discharging through T1, L and D. Now, this capacitor, initially it was charged with plus, upper plate is positive and lower plate negative. It discharges to 0 and because of the presence of this inductor, it starts charging with reverse polarity again. So it was plus minus here with Vs. Now it charges with opposite polarity. It is charged to minus Vs. That means minus is on the upper plate and positive on the lower plate. Okay. Now, till now this auxiliary thyristor was in off condition. Now, in order to turn off this T1, we fire TA, this auxiliary thyristor. So, once this is fired or triggered, this acts as a closed switch. So, and what about the polarity of the capacitor? It is minus on the upper plate and plus on the lower plate. So, you can see that clearly there is a reverse voltage across this T1. So, once TA is fired or triggered, this capacitor applies a reverse voltage to main thyristor. So, it gets turned off. Since it is turned off by reverse voltage, you are calling it as voltage commutation. Okay. Now, TA is on. So, this is a short circuit. Now, load current starts flowing through TA, load and back to battery. Okay. Now, what was the polarity? Minus and plus. Now, once again, this capacitor starts discharging. Once it is discharged completely, so through this path, it is load current is flowing, and again once this capacitor is charged with upper plate positive and lower plate negative, TA turns off. Once it is fully charged, this gets turned off. So we get the initial condition T1 and TA both are off and capacitor charged with upper plate positive. So in this way, to turn off the main thyristor, we are using an auxiliary thyristor. By means of the reverse voltage applied by the capacitor, it is getting turned off. So it is called auxiliary commutation. Okay. Now next commutation technique is class E commutation. Class E. Okay. This E stands for external pulse commutation. Okay. So this E denotes that there is external source. So in this commutation circuitry, commutation of this main thyristor is achieved by means of an external voltage source. So here there is a DC source, but because of the presence of this external voltage source, we are commutating this main thyristor. So it is called class E commutation. Now we will see the working of this circuit. T1, T2 and T3 are thyristors. RL is the load. There is an inductor. This is the auxiliary voltage source and this is a capacitor C. So initially we trigger T1. So this acts as a closed switch and load current starts flowing through RL. Now we need to turn off this main thyristor. So what we are doing first is that we trigger this thyristor T3. Okay, once this is on, through this voltage source, the capacitor gets charged. Current starts flowing and it is getting charged with positive on the upper plate and negative on the lower plate. The property is that whatever you are applying the auxiliary voltage, twice the auxiliary voltage this capacitor has to get charged. Okay. Once this capacitor is fully charged with twice the auxiliary voltage, then there will not be a charging current. So T3 turns off. We have a fully charged capacitor. Now to turn off T1, now we trigger T2. So if you turn on this T2, this capacitor starts discharging. Okay, capacitor starts discharging, and you can see that to this main thyristor we are getting a voltage equal to Vs minus 2V auxiliary. Okay, Vs minus 2V auxiliary, we are getting a voltage across this main thyristor. So this reverse voltage is sufficient to turn off the main thyristor. Once this is off, through this load resistor, capacitor is getting discharged. So all the thyristors are off. So to turn off this main thyristor, we are using an external voltage source. Because of this, it is called external pulse commutation. This method of commutation used a pulse obtained from a source external to the main circuit. So this is called external pulse commutation. The pulse is used to apply a reverse bias and turn off the thyristor. Okay, so this is all about class E commutation. So we have come to a end of all the commutation techniques: class A, class B, class C, class D and class E commutation. And we have come to the end of the first module. Okay, thank you. See you in the next class.